Here.
Commissioner Puente?
Here.
Commissioner Pierce?
Here.
Commissioner Conley?
Here.
Commissioner Tharp is not present. Commissioner Richer?
Here.
And Commissioner Daig?
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Okay. Would first order of business is to review and approve the agenda. Do I have a motion or any amendments?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay,
Robert.
it's been moved by Dwayne and seconded by Robert that we approve the agenda for tonight. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Seeing none, the agenda is approved. Next order of business is to review and approve the minutes for September 9th, 2021. Are there any changes or any comments regarding those minutes? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Who was that?
It was Robert again.
Thanks, Robert.
It's Dwayne. I'll second it.
Okay. Moved and seconded to approve the minutes for September 9th, 2021. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed? No opposition. We have approved the minutes. We will now move on to discussion and action items. And first order of business is 501 North Dodgen, recommendation for rezoning of a local landmark property. Wendy, you want to take it from there?
Sure. I'll just summarize it briefly. Habitat has come to the city and asked for rezoning to have both the property at 501 and 505 North Dodgen consistent. And so because this particular property at 501 North Dodgen is a historic landmark property, it would come before the commission as a recommendation to the Planning Commission for rezoning. And they're asking from a C2 rezoning to a C3, and that would also have the HL overlay with that. So if you are in favor of this, you would make a recommendation to the Planning Commission for the rezoning from C2 HL to C3 HL. And I'm happy to answer any questions. The CEO of Truman Habitat is also here, Christina Lakey, and I'm sure she would answer any questions that you might have as well. Otherwise, I'll turn it back over to the commission.
Are there any, actually, first order of business, do I have a motion to discuss? Or do you want to just discuss? Any comments for the good of the order?
I'll move to rezone the Dodgen property.
Okay.
Okay, and this is a recommendation to the Planning Commission, Dwayne?
Yes.
Okay.
We don't have the authority to do it on our own, right?
We do not, no.
Okay.
Well,
I would.
I do have a quick question. This is Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy, since I have worked with Habitat before and on this project previously, do you have a quorum without me? Do I need to abstain?
You do not. If you don't have a fiduciary connection to the property, then it's not considered a conflict of interest. So if you're not gaining any financial benefit from your affiliation with Habitat, then there's not conflict.
Not currently, but previously.
Yeah, I think if it is not current, I don't think that's a problem, but we still have a quorum with 4. So if you feel more comfortable,
Okay.
I can make a note of that.
Nope, that's fine. Just wanted to bring it up.
Thank you.
Dwayne has moved that we recommend rezoning of the Habitat for Humanity property. Do I have a second?
Well, I'm not a voting member, but I do support this. Would the rezoning be kind of permanent, or would it have to be resubmitted at some point?
It will be a permanent change.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, I support. But again, I'm ex officio.
Technically speaking, you are a voting member until we move on. But there we go. Should we have,
Okay.
could Austin or
This is
Wendy?
Austin. I'll second it.
Okay. It's
Okay,
been
and
moved.
then
Excuse me, sorry.
excuse
I'll
me, I
second this
believe
is Austin.
Miss-
I'm sorry.
that was a second, Austin?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, and Miss Lakey had something she wanted to add.
I thought I would open it up to discussion. Miss Lakey, would you like to comment?
Thank you. I really, as a point of clarification for us, I understand the motion is to approve the rezoning. What's maybe still unclear to me is whether the HL designation will remain according to the original legal description, or if it will be modified to correspond to the replat, which we've submitted. It's a separate item, because obviously what it would mean for us if the overlay was to enlarge, that would be limiting any actions that we take on the larger property as needing Heritage Commission approval. So we just need to understand what the long-term consequences for future modification of that property.
So this recommendation is for 501 North Dodgen only. The HL will not apply to 505.
Okay.
And so the overlay and the historic landmark status will strictly be for the historic young school.
Okay.
And the property it directly is associated with.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion from members? Okay. Hearing no discussion, I'm going to move the question. It's been moved and seconded that we recommend to the Planning Commission the rezoning of local landmark property from C2 HL to C3 HL at 501 North Dodgen. Is that correct? Have I got that right, Wendy?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Should we do a roll call on this?
Yes, we do. That would be Chair Twyman,
Yes.
Commissioner Stevens,
Yes.
Commissioner Puente,
Yes.
Commissioner Pierce,
Yes.
Commissioner Conley,
Yes.
and we have a motion for recommendation to the Planning Commission that passes 5-0.
Okay. Next up is the update to, first, thank you, Ms. Lakey, for bringing this and for being here tonight. We appreciate it very much.
Well,
And we
thank you. We appreciate your support, vote of support as well.
We appreciate everything I think that Habitat for Humanity does. It's a great organization, and we're lucky to have you.
Well, we're looking forward to inviting you all to our landmark property dedication when we actually get permission to occupy. So hopefully later this spring,
That'll be
able
great.
to celebrate with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you. We look
Thank
forward
you.
to it.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Up next is the update to the City Code of Ordinances. And Wendy, would you like to comment on that first?
So this is more than just basically just housekeeping. Our ordinance does not currently reflect the ex officio status as an advisory member and not as a voting member any longer. This was a change to the ethics policy that the federal government put in place that affects both the National Archives as well as the National Park Service. And as a result, it affects the voting status of both Sam and Carol. And so in order to just make sure that all of our paperwork, our ordinance is all in line with what the current voting status is, then we're just asking for the Heritage Commission to make a recommendation to the City Council for this change to our ordinance. And it's basically just to reflect that the director or their representative of the Harry S. Truman Library and the superintendent of the Harry S. Truman National Historic Site or their designees shall serve as what we will now call advisory members.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So, Wendy, I mean, are we still ex officio too, or are we advisory and ex officio? I mean, I don't want to get into semantics, but
Well,
I guess I'm getting into semantics.
Yeah, technically, according to the city clerk, you would no longer be ex officios because by their definition, you would be a voting member. So it would change from ex officio title to advisory member title.
But we're still with no voting privileges, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's the advisory.
Okay.
They felt like it was your opportunity to still give your opinion about projects or about anything that might affect the district as a whole, but it would also reflect that you were no longer a voting member.
Okay.
All right.
Yep, I'm okay with that.
I'm not. I
As am
still
I.
wish you were voting
I,
members.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. But
Yeah,
one doesn't,
yeah, not
one
okay.
doesn't wish,
It's
not
reality.
okay, but yeah. Do-
The way it is.
Yeah, that's right, Carol. It's the way it is.
One
Yeah.
does not wish to run afoul of the federal government. It is true. Do we have do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Okay.
To-
And Dwayne, that was you, right?
You're right, it was me.
I'm making the assumption that you are moving to recommend the following change to City Code Article 30.1.003 in order to reflect changes made to federal ethics policies to read, the City of Independence shall have a Heritage Commission consisting of 9 members, the Director of the Harry S. Truman Library and the Superintendent of the Harry S. Truman National Historic Site or their designees shall serve as advisory members. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes, and I'll have all that reflected in the minutes.
Okay. And do we have a second for that?
I'll second. It's Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I'm not going to repeat it. Let's have a, if there's no further discussion, is there? Okay, seeing none, Wendy, would you call the roll, please?
Chair Twyman,
Yes.
Commissioner Stevens,
Yes.
Commissioner Puente,
Yes.
Commissioner Pierce,
Yes.
Commissioner Conley,
Yes.
and we have a vote of 5-0 for a recommendation to the City Council making that change.
Okay.
And
Up
Wendy,
next-
quick, oh, sorry, Deb. Yeah,
go ahead.
quick question for you. That doesn't change Carol and I's status in terms of quorum purposes, correct?
It does not. Because you're an advisory member only, then your presence does not count toward the quorum.
Mm-hmm.
That's another knock against us there, Carol. So.
Yeah, I'm missing
Yeah.
both of those.
Yeah, well, you two were getting out of control. We had to get you under control,
You
Thanks,
know, You think
Dwayne.
maybe
My
each
husband
of
just
us-
overheard that.
Can we count as half each of us? Maybe together we can, one quorum.
be one.
position? No, that's okay.
Up next, reports and comments. Do we have any public comments, Wendy?
There, I don't believe, are any members of the public who are attending the meeting.
Okay. In that case, Heritage Commissioners, any comments or reports? Okay, seeing none, Wendy, as staff, any comments or reports?
We do have 2 106s that I'm in the process of pulling together for Habitat for Humanity. So I will put those on the agenda for the next meeting. The only thing I have so far for the next meeting are our 2022 goals and objectives. So I'll send those out. That would be the only thing we have on for discussion. So it should be a fairly short meeting for February.
Okay. All right. And do we have a date for that one at this point, or?
I believe it's February 1st. It's always the first Tuesday of the month. This is unfortunately a very rare exception.
Okay, all righty. Any other comments for the good of the order?
Wendy, are we accepting Preserve Independence Award nominees still, the formerly Hickman Award, or is that pretty much not defunct, but is that still an award that exists?
So it doesn't go out until February. And that's when we start our Preservation Month planning, but it is something for discussion. We have to very actively coax people to put applications in every year. We haven't gotten a voluntary application in several years. And I just wonder if there might be a better avenue for us to try to recognize preservation projects in the community, or maybe just a completely different outreach type of program that we just haven't really delved into yet. So something for consideration at the next meeting or at the Preservation Month planning meeting, which will be set soon, probably the 2nd to 3rd week of February.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
all righty.
I had a question. As an advisory member, is Sam able to edit our minutes?
That is
I
always
hope so.
appreciated.
Okay.
Very little to do there.
I
They always
wouldn't
look great.
lose your form in your approach.
Yeah.
We look forward to that.
Any further discussion? Okay,
Oh, well, thank you, Wendy, for registering me for the NAPC training. on January
You are-
20.
You are very welcome. They've been offering something almost every month, and I because we're members, we get them for free. So it goes toward your training requirement for CLG status. And I'd encourage anyone who has an opportunity to either watch live or have a chance to go back and watch the recordings that they offer. Both would go toward the training.
And at this point, we're not looking to have any more on-site training this year. Or maybe you haven't heard anything yet. I know the dates fluctuate with CLG training in Jeff City. February, March, April, that kind of time. It's probably, doesn't sound like it'd be likely, maybe again this year.
I so far I haven't heard anything. I'm sure if they feel like it's a safe opportunity for us to meet in person, that they'll get the word out as soon as possible. But I'll definitely keep you
Okay.
posted as soon as I hear anything.
Okay, and I'll warm up the government van. So I tend to be the driver for anyone who doesn't know that. So
Right.
Okay. Any further comments? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll
Was
second
it
that. That's
Robert? Okay, and who seconded?
Dwayne.
Okay, and Dwayne seconded. It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor, just say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Nice meeting, guys. 16 minutes in and out. I'm
Okay.
impressed.
Yeah, thank you again so much. I apologize for the mix up on Tuesday, and we will go with our regular meeting time and the regular link starting again in